Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 11. Going to present about Mr. Ruslan, the entrepreneurial KEREPEK enterprise that we already researched. My name is Nur Aliza binti Muhammad Aliza. My matrical number is A20822210.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zubaidi bin Sazmi. My submetric number is A20A2325.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nur Atira Binti Azman and my metric number is A20A1975.
Hello, my name is Arif Irwani bin Rosli. My metric number is A20A1276.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Davia. My number metric A20A1918.
Okay. Right. In fact, we have 7 members, but 2 of us could not participate because of an emergency. She is Nur Adila binti Abdul Muttalib, A20A2202, and Muhammad Farid bin Zainal, A20A1519.
Okay, for first thing is entrepreneur background. So the entrepreneur for terus KEREPEK enterprise is Mr. Roslan bin Aziz, which is he is 58 years old, born on 18 May 1962 from Banting, Selangor. So Mr. Roslan is a person that sell the chips to their customer when they are first starting their own small business. So Mr. Roslan with his wife starting business with produce various type of chips such as kerepek pisang tanduk dan rempeyek and kerepek tempe and so on. So his wife is Mr. Susana is important that start their business, his wife. So this is legacy company, and now he already passed that company to his son, which is Mr. Fauzi. So the starting of Blue Sweet Potato is when Mr. Roslan go to send their chips to their customer, and then he meet the dealer from Singapore, the chips dealer from Singapore, and then the dealer asked him about Blue Sweet Potato. Actually, Mr. Roslan doesn't know anything about Blue Sweet Potato, but that dealer say if Mr. Roslan can make Blue Sweet Potato, he will help Mr. Roslan to export their product to Australia. And then with capital 1,000 ringgit Malaysia, Mr. Roslan with his wife make a Blue Sweet Potato and then export their first product to another country, which is Australia. And then some word from Mr. Roslan. He said sometimes in the business world, there are times that they will feel very weak and down, which is maybe of decreasing selling performance because sometimes they did not have a good demand, very low demand from customer that will make influence their performance of selling. So Mr. Roslan said what they need to do is just move forward and do not look back. That's all for entrepreneur background.
Okay. Next, we proceed with entrepreneur before starting the venture.
Next is before starting the venture, Mr. Roslan said, Before he become an entrepreneur, he doing any village work that need him, such as rigger, cutting rubber, and grass machine. He do whatever someone want him to do and give him wage. He also works at one chips company as driver, and that's why he's into the world of KEREPEK. About intention of being an entrepreneur, Mr. Ruslan said one of his friends suggested him to open a company that's process sweet potato chips, and that's why Mr. Ruslan started his business in year 19. Because his friend ordered to he doesn't come from entrepreneur family. That means he's the only one who opened his business by himself. His father worked as cutting rubber, and his mother a full-time housewife. Mr. Ruslan has 5 siblings in their family, and he was the third one from 5. His wife name is Haja Sudana binti Muhammad Talib, and result from their marriage, they has 5 children, which is 2 daughters and 3 sons. Mr. Ruslan is very proactive in finding raw material to produce his chips by planting bananas such as palm bananas, ash bananas, jackfruit banana, tapioca, and sweet potato in his own garden at beginning year of his company. One of entrepreneurial activity that Mr. Ruslan do is manufacturing by make sure all the equipment and raw material is enough to produce good. His brand has a strong consumer demand because they have their hidden formula. Mr. Ruslan is also a futuristic person who is always thinking of new methods in promoting his product to all corners of the country. He makes sure they are retailing able when customers want to buy, making this on per piece basis. At beginning year of company, Mr. Ruslan have to make sure that all demand from customers who come from any state can buy his chip. So far, his business can deliver to all states, even already export to Australia. His business also selling their product according to the measure and can make buyer to buy what quantity they want, such as 215 gram, 500 gram, and 1 kilogram, and others. Not only that, Mr. Ruslan also has diversified the flavor that keep customer to try and taste the new flavors such as curry, BBQ, spicy, black pepper, tomato, and flavored chicken. Terus KEREPEK into marble cake and cake sarang semut. Thank you. Next.
Okay. Next, I will proceed with the entrepreneurs at the time he started the venture. First, I will explain about what the factor motivation that Mr. Ruslan used. Okay, first, motivation is a persistent motivation for human actions to carry out behaviors that are motivated by an incentive. We have found that there are four factors. First, psychology. Psychologically, it is the bold to talk, chance, diligent, imaginative, and constructive. Mr. Ruslan is an entrepreneur who dares to take chance by deciding to submit blue sweet potato goods provided by his friend to be sold overseas, Australia. While he was just a pretty small business at the time, moreover, he managed to expand his company with perseverance in himself. Alright, his ambition to become an entrepreneur was his second driving factor. In an interview with Mr. Ruslan, he expressed his wish 31 years ago that he would like to be an entrepreneur like others. Now, with Mr. Ruslan's effort and hard work, he has managed to become a prosperous entrepreneur even with chips. The third driving factor is rising demand. Mr. Ruslan has managed his business for 31 years With the demand and motivation of customer, the roast KEREPEK will be able to last until this century. The last driving factor is money. Mr. Roslan goal is to raise his income by making a midwife jump from a trigger truck driver to an entrepreneur. To support his 5 children, he worked hard to make their children's life comfortable. Okay, next I will explain about goals. Mr. Ruslan's first aim is to open up work opportunities. Mr. Ruslan would like to open up opportunities for individuals living in his factory. Another example is that he himself employed a few single mothers to work in his business. Mr. Ruslan's second aim to become a snack empire. Mr. Ruslan hoped to turn his business into a snack empire both domestically and overseas. To ensure that his aim is accomplished, Mr. Ruslan has made a change by enhancing the quality of the product. The opening of a second business location is also of the goal set by Encik Ruslan. It aims to increase the proposition of the company since it wants to ensure that the new location can handle a large number of sheep produced in one day. The fourth goal that he aimed to accomplish develop new goods. According to my observation, not only the chips were promoted in the roast KEREPEK showroom, but cookies, cake, and biscuit were also promoted in the roast KEREPEK. The ultimate aim is to have business partner. The main goals of his organization is to find a business partner to increase the business resources of the partner. The next, I will explain about resources. We have found that have 5 resources that are available to start up. First, financial resources. Second, human resources. Third, raw material resources. Fourth, physical resources. And the last one, emotional resources. That's all from me. Next.
So hello, I would like to talk about controlling at early stage of business. So we proceed with the first one. If we focus on leveraging our skill to quickly deliver value for cash, we won't have to keep our day job for very long. Most founders wait too long to hire and work senior leadership team, and many founders simply wait too long before making this hard decision, and this leads to growing pain and scaling challenge. One of the most common growing pain for a startup is maintaining the culture as the company scales. All the startup want to grow, and with growth will come some pain. Next, I will talk about risk orientation early startup. The very act of starting a business demand, you assume the risk of failure in various forms, which is insufficient cash, lower than anticipated market needs, fierce competition, and challenge that threaten to shift your focus. Foremost, the prospect of making your own decisions and being in charge of your own destiny is worth it. That usually means a collection of angel investor contributions, government grants and loans, and result from core funding campaigns. Besides, even if we have a line of credit, securing a regular cash flow is difficult and stressful. Yeah. As a result, most entrepreneurs are forced to make multiple goals contingent on a handful of deadlines, and those deadlines become absolutely critical. Next is the business plan. Business plans can help Encik Roslan get funding or bring on new business partner. This business plan is the tool he will use to persuade others that working with him is a smart decision. Keep in mind that the plan does not have to be like an encyclopedia and does not have to have all answers. Startup and small business need to focus on their special identities, their target markets, and their product and service tailored to match it. Next, okay, for the last one on me, prepare or not to start up. Some business plan do not concern themselves with the entirety of the business. They may or may not be internal plans depending whether they are meant to attract outside investment or meet the loan requirement of a bank. The expansion plan is for the business owned internal consumption and will be categorized as an internal business plan and won't contain detail about the organization or the management team. Such internal plan also involve internal funding provided by the business itself. That's all for me. Next.
Alright, I will continue with the conclusion. Firstly, for the conclusion, here is half a step to start a business, which is Mr. Roslan decide the goods that he will be sell and the focus that he want to sell, the product that he want to sell, and other than that, skill to produce chips needs the skill and knowledge, which is Encik Roslan make the R&D, means that do the research during before he start to run the business. And then characteristic, which is to be an entrepreneur. Mr. Roslan have a characteristic such as brave to take risks, which is we see at the first stage of his business, he been approached from one guy from Singapore to produce KEREPEK, Keledek Biru, that is famous at that time, in Perth, Australia. And then advantage of learning about an entrepreneur is we are able to create a job, and he has capability to help people out there like the single mother and youth. Next, the key of success. Number one, positive and create motivational environment, which is with his subordinates. And then, second, create a good team or rely on team. Mr. Roslan create a good team management in order to ensure his business in a good condition. Even though Mr. Roslan have to compete with other chip producer, but he always took it as a motivation for him to improve his quality of chips. And then, the next point is be passionate. Mr. Roslan very passionate with his business that he runs. Mr. Roslan, that is the person who built the KEREPEK enterprise, and from his experiences, he willing to sacrifice his first house to be used as inventory storage place, and he had to move out from his essential home. And finally, Mr. Roslan decided to build a new house, and it is further away from his shop, which is KEREPEK, due to demand for chips is increasing by day to day. Next, the key of success is be humble or help the others. Means, other than working, Mr. Roslan also spend his time with his subordinates and also his customer. He spend his time with subordinates with giving motivational, with giving motivate, means motivate his subordinates in doing their work. And also the next point is work hard, which is In maintaining his business, he needs to compete with other producers in banking who also produce chips like Fast Enterprise, like KEREPEK, Kedai KEREPEK Masrina. And then the last is flexible. The last point is flexible and persistent. Even though he runs the business, he need to have a flexible time, and at the same time he's persistent with what he do. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, so I give the opportunity to you guys to ask question. Want to start first? Nobody? Okay, let me start first. Okay, I want to ask Arif Ivan. Okay,
Sure.
Ivan, can I know how Mr. Roslan controlling an early business?
That usually means a collection of angle investor contributions, government grant and loans, and result from crowdfunding campaigns. It is? It is right. So that is my answer.
Alright. Thank you, Arif Ivan.
Alright.
So next, I want to ask.
Okay, next.
Okay. Alright, Rabiatul.
Okay, I want to ask Zulfairi.
Can I ask how many employees under KEREPEK Enterprise?
Rabiatul, I think Atira is asking you.
Asking me. Okay. Thank you, Atira, for the questions. Firstly, Encik Roslan for now, 2020, he already have 86 subordinates, include in the farm also.
Yes.
That's all. Rabiatul. Alright. Rabiatul, just now I hear you want to ask something, right?
Yeah, I want to ask about entrepreneur background.
Okay.
The question I want to give to Zulfairi. Why Mr. Roslan want to start his business? That's question number one. Second, why he chose to produce chips? That's all.
Okay. So the first question is why Mr. Roslan choose to start his business. As we know, and we discussing just now, we know that Mr. Roslan is unemployment person, right? So sometimes he just help his wife to send their product to other customer. So when he see the opportunity for their product, then can get high demand from customer. So from that, he start to pull their business, to start their small business. And then second question is linked with first question just now. Why he choose chips for their business. So Mr. Roslan is the person who send their product to their customer, maybe to home and to dealer. He meet many people, many customers. So when the first question from dealer from Singapore asked him about KEREPEK Kredit Biru, that he didn't know anything actually about KEREPEK Kredit Biru. But when the day that dealer from Singapore asked him about that, so he realized maybe that is their opportunity for their business, and he start to make a KEREPEK Kredit Biru and get high demand from customer, which is international customer in Australia. So that is a thing that encouraged Mr. Roslan and his wife to continue their business, which is KEREPEK Kredit Biru, that get high demand from in the country and abroad country. Is it clear, my answer?
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's all from us, right, for our presentation. I think we can end our presentation now. Is it? Right. First of all, thank you for your contribution, guys, to participate in this presentation. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
First of all, I want to say sorry to all my team because not participate at the presentation at this morning because I have an emergency. So yeah, let's go to my presentation is company background. In 1989, Rose KEREPEK Enterprise was a chip factory. Mr. Roslan bin Aziz founded it, which is Rose KEREPEK Enterprise. In Kanchun Darat, this factory was built on a private site. Someone would process sweet potato chips triggered the proposal to set up the company. At the time, the sweet potato chip manufacturing operation was only conducted on a small scale in a small workshop constructed at the back of his property. From a time to time, the market demand is grow as well when the Rose KEREPEK Enterprise received a lot of the order from the supplier and customer around the region, even from the abroad. He has to try further diversity the potato-based chip product and hone bananas on top for the overwhelming demand. All the machinery was also added and purchased for increasing the amount of production. He has another larger workshop because of his work to expand his business, and it is easier to store the resulting product in large quantity well. In addition, a showroom is also given to display the goods that were manufactured to pick and buy the product of their choosing apart from customer. So, in Kuala Langat District, Sepang District, around the Klang Valley, Kuantan, Pahang, Putrajaya, Kuala Lumpur, Kedah, Johor Bahru, Perlis, Pulau Pinang and Melaka, various manufactured goods have been marketed. Also that, direct sales, online sales, wholesale sales, and sales service are among the marketing strategy to use to expand their business and target market. Okay, next, since Rose KEREPEK Enterprise produces a food business, Rose KEREPEK Enterprise runs a food industry strike company. This business is managed by Small and Medium Industry SMIS. For you guys' information, Small and Medium Industry is an enterprise consisting of entrepreneurs who, according to the parameter specified by the number of employers and the total annual profit, and then operate automatically or in a group. In a specific area, there are strengths and skills. Among the features of Rose KEREPEK Enterprise relate with SME, which is produce product that have a large industry, which is cannot be produced by the largest industry such as the food processing industry. Nearly all customer and family members and local or neighbor simple organization formed by family and workers. In addition, limited usage of methods of labor-intensive use. Due to difficult in funding, financial leading, MARA and MIDF provide a capital assistance. plus waste and relationship with infrastructure service everywhere. Meanwhile, products do not use high technology because they want to save money. They use equipment in order to help single mother in Tanjung Darat and Sungai Lang, Banting. So, Rose KEREPEK Enterprise also has a target customer to improve product manufacturing operation and satisfy consumer demand for product manufacturing. In general, Rose KEREPEK Enterprise usually target their customer that can afford to buy their products such as like keripik pisang tanduk, keripik ubi, keripik pisang salai, tortilla nachos, keripik pisang nangka, and so on. Depend on the amount the customer want. However, according to their observation on the type of customer who come to his company, an elderly will always come to the Rose KEREPEK honest Encik never put image of French people to be his customer because for him, customer like a king and treat them well and spread positive vibes with the others. Lastly, a total of 86 employees under Rose KEREPEK Enterprise from the garden department to the officers or staff. All the staff are resident and some of them are local. Other than that, Rose KEREPEK Enterprise employees also report age ranging from 18 to 60 years old. Some work to make friends and some work to achieve outcomes consist of a single mother and young. Each of these are particular reason for working in this sector, say Rose KEREPEK Enterprise Management. So from that for me, thank you.